Welcome to our deep dive,
Hmm.
into this really fascinating world, spiritual awakening. Um, we're going to kind of explore the 5 stages of this journey. But before we jump in, I think it's important to understand that this isn't a linear path,
Not a straight line.
not a straight line, no, with a clear-cut beginning and end.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more like a spiral.
So you're saying we could revisit certain stages or?
Yeah, we might revisit certain stages,
Uh-huh.
skip others entirely,
Okay.
or find ourselves kind of looping back around.
Got it.
It's a unique experience for everyone.
That makes sense. But are there any common threads that connect these individual journeys?
Absolutely. Even though the path is unique to each individual, there are certain stages that many people experience along the way. Recognizing these stages can offer valuable insights into our own spiritual growth.
Yeah, definitely. Let's start with the first stage. Unconsciousness, think of it as like the default setting we're all born with.
So what does that mean?
It's a state where we're completely immersed in the ego. Our thoughts and emotions and desires, they kind of dictate our actions and reactions. We haven't yet developed the self-awareness to kind of step back and observe these patterns.
It's like we're on autopilot, just reacting to life without truly understanding, the forces at play.
Okay, so what would you say is the main challenge during this stage?
The challenge lies in recognizing the ego's grip on our perceptions. We see the world through a very limited lens, often mistaking our subjective experiences for, objective truth. It can be difficult to separate ourselves from our thoughts and emotions, leading to a feeling of being stuck or controlled by external forces.
It's almost as if we're looking at the world through a distorted mirror, not realizing that the distortion is coming from within.
So then how do we break free from this unconscious state?
The first crack in this illusion, I think, appears when we begin to question. It's that spark of awareness that leads us to the second stage, ego death. Now, this might sound intimidating, but it's not a literal death.
What is it then? What exactly is ego death?
Think of it as a dismantling of the false self, the constructed identity we've built up over time. You know, the labels we cling to, the beliefs we hold dear, the stories we tell ourselves about who we are, they all begin to crumble.
Yeah, it's a process of stripping away the layers of conditioning that have shaped our perception of reality. It can be a confusing and unsettling time as we navigate the unfamiliar terrain of our inner landscape.
Wow, that does sound intense. So what triggers this breakdown of the ego?
It can be triggered by a variety of experiences. A major life change, a sudden loss, a profound spiritual experience, even a simple shift in perspective.
It's like the foundation we've built our lives on suddenly starts to shake, forcing us to confront the impermanence of our constructed self.
And what happens after this ego death? What's the next stage?
The dismantling of the ego creates a void, a sense of emptiness that propels us into the third stage, the search.
This is where the real adventure begins. We're driven by a deep yearning for meaning and purpose, a thirst for knowledge and understanding that can lead us down many different paths.
It's a period of exploration and experimentation. We might delve into spiritual teachings, seek out wise mentors, explore different belief systems, or experiment with various practices like meditation or yoga.
It's about finding what speaks to you, right? What resonates with us on a deeper level.
Exactly. The search is a highly individual journey. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. It's about listening to our inner compass and trusting our intuition as we navigate this vast landscape of possibilities.
The key is to approach this stage with an open mind and a willingness to question everything we thought we knew about ourselves and the world. It's a time for dismantling old beliefs, challenging ingrained patterns, and venturing into the unknown.
It's like stepping out of the comfort of our familiar reality and embarking on this grand expedition to discover the truth that lies beyond the horizon. But the journey doesn't end there. As we delve deeper into the search, we begin to uncover something truly remarkable. We start to glimpse the emergence of our authentic self, which brings us to the fourth stage, but we'll save that exploration for the next part of our deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to our exploration of spiritual awakening. In the last part, we journeyed through the initial stages: unconsciousness, ego death, and the beginning of the search.
Yeah, and we left off at a pretty intriguing point, the emergence of the authentic self.
Right, this fourth stage marks a pivotal moment in our spiritual evolution. It's like finally stepping out from behind a mask we've been wearing for far too long.
It's a time of profound self-discovery. The insights gleaned from the search begin to coalesce into a clear understanding of who we truly are beneath the layers of conditioning and societal expectations.
So it's about shedding those masks and revealing our true selves.
Precisely, we start to recognize the ways we've contorted ourselves to fit in, to please others, or to live up to external standards that never truly resonated with our core being.
And that realization can be incredibly liberating, but also a bit daunting, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like stepping out into the world naked after years of hiding behind elaborate costumes. There's a vulnerability that comes with embracing our authenticity, a willingness to be seen for who we truly are, flaws and all.
That takes courage. What helps us navigate this vulnerability?
It often starts with small acts of self-expression. Maybe we start speaking our truth more openly in our relationships or pursuing passions we've long suppressed.
Exactly. And as we align our actions with our authentic self, we experience a growing sense of congruence and inner harmony that radiates outwards.
It sounds like this stage involves a lot of letting go.
It does. We might find ourselves releasing limiting beliefs, unhealthy relationships, or even careers that no longer align with our emerging sense of self.
This shedding process can be quite tumultuous. There may be resistance both internally and externally as we challenge the status quo.
So how do we deal with that resistance?
It requires a deep trust in the unfolding of our journey, even when things feel chaotic or uncertain.
We learn to lean into discomfort, recognizing it as a sign of growth. We begin to see challenges not as setbacks, but as opportunities to refine our understanding of who we are and what we truly value.
This is all starting to sound very aligned with the final stage, living a life of alignment.
You're absolutely right. As we move through the challenges and triumphs of embracing our authentic selves, we gradually step into a state of greater alignment with our purpose and the world around us.
This fifth stage is less about striving and more about being. It's a natural evolution that arises from the integration of all the previous stages.
Can you elaborate on what it means to live a life of alignment?
Imagine a river flowing effortlessly towards the ocean. There's no resistance, no struggle, only a harmonious movement in the direction of its natural course.
So it's about aligning our actions, our values, and our aspirations with our deepest truth.
Precisely. We're no longer trying to force things or control outcomes. We trust the wisdom of the universe and allow ourselves to be guided by a deeper knowing.
That sounds incredibly peaceful, but does it mean life becomes easy?
Not necessarily. Challenges are still part of the human experience, but our perspective shifts. We approach difficulties with greater equanimity and resilience, recognizing them as opportunities for growth and learning.
It's almost as if we've developed a new set of lenses through which we view the world, lenses colored by compassion, understanding, and a deep acceptance of the ebb and flow of life.
So it's not about reaching a destination, but rather about embracing the journey.
Exactly. And as we continue to cultivate this alignment, our connection to our true selves deepens, and we experience a profound sense of belonging and purpose.
What a beautiful way to sum up this incredible journey of spiritual awakening. But there's even more to uncover, and we'll delve into those details in the final part of our deep dive. Welcome back to our deep dive into the 5 stages of spiritual awakening. We've explored the terrain of unconsciousness, navigated the turbulent waters of ego death, embarked on the grand adventure of the search, and witnessed the emergence of the authentic self.
Yeah, and in the last part, we were kind of left contemplating this beautiful image of a river flowing effortlessly towards the ocean, a metaphor for living a life of alignment.
Yes, this 5th and final stage is often described as a state of being rather than doing. It's a culmination of all the inner work we've done, natural blossoming that arises from deep self-awareness and acceptance.
But how do we actually cultivate this alignment in our daily lives? Is there like a roadmap, a set of instructions we can follow?
Well, there's no one-size-fits-all approach, but there are certain practices and principles that can help us move towards greater alignment. It's like tending a garden. We need to create the right conditions for our authentic selves to kind of flourish.
So it's about nurturing ourselves both physically and spiritually.
Exactly. This might involve prioritizing self-care practices that nourish our bodies and minds, such as meditation, yoga, spending time in nature, or engaging in creative pursuits.
It's like those practices help us stay connected to our inner wisdom, that quiet voice that guides us towards what truly resonates with our souls.
Yeah, and living in alignment isn't just about, feeling good. It's also about showing up in the world in a way that reflects our values and contributes to something larger than ourselves.
Absolutely. As our sense of self expands, so too does our compassion and empathy for others. We begin to see the interconnectedness of all things and feel a natural urge to contribute to the well-being of the world around us.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where our passions and skills kind of intersect with the needs of the world.
Precisely. And that often involves stepping out of our comfort zones, taking risks, and challenging the status quo. It might involve speaking out against injustice, advocating for causes we believe in, or simply offering a helping hand to those in need.
As we align our actions with our values, we experience a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment. It's no longer about striving for external validation or material success, but rather about expressing our unique gifts and talents in service to something greater.
This sounds like such a beautiful way to live, but I imagine it's not always easy to stay in this state of alignment. Life inevitably throws us curveballs.
You're right. Challenges are an inherent part of the human experience. We'll still face setbacks, disappointments, and moments of doubt, but our perspective shifts.
Instead of resisting these challenges, we learn to embrace them as opportunities for growth and learning. We cultivate resilience knowing that we have the inner strength to navigate whatever life throws our way.
It sounds like this stage is less about achieving a state of perfection and more about developing a deep trust in the unfolding of our journey.
Exactly. It's about surrendering to the ebb and flow of life, knowing that even in the midst of chaos and uncertainty, there's a deeper wisdom guiding our steps.
And as we continue to cultivate this trust, we discover that life becomes less about controlling outcomes and more about embracing the present moment. We learn to find joy in the simple things, appreciate the beauty that surrounds us, and cultivate gratitude for all that we have.
What a profound reminder that the journey of spiritual awakening is an ongoing process, a lifelong adventure of self-discovery and growth.
And while there may be moments when we feel lost or uncertain, we can always return to the practices that nourish our souls, reconnect with our inner wisdom, and continue to align our lives with our deepest truth.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the 5 stages of spiritual awakening. May this exploration inspire you to embrace your own unique journey with courage, compassion, and an unwavering belief in the transformative power of self-discovery.